Welcome to NC4XL's observation on POTA Activators. I present this to you because you were looking up activators for parks on the air. And more than likely you have had the opportunity to do some hunting, chasing all the parks, and realizing that between the United States, Canada, Italy, France, and other countries that are joining the opportunity to have designated POTA, that's Parks on the Air parks, you get to chase them. You're listening on the airwaves to hunt them. And it is fun. It's very addictive. You're inside a more than likely residence where you have the facilities you need to enjoy the day and make the contacts and swing the beams and do all the things a normal ham operator would do, just do it chasing parks. Some of you are fortunate to have parks very close to you that you can go out and activate, and some of us have to travel an hour to 2 hours to find a park to activate. And that's where I come up with something like this for those of you who are interested in activating. It's great, it's thrilling, and sometimes it has the downside that really frustrates you, but you get past it. As an activator, you're the only ones sending your logs into your appropriate representative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0 call areas. Until you send your logs in, those of you who are hunters do not get credit for working that park with your station. So it's really important, and don't let logging frustrate you. There's several different apps. I'm from the old school of 1978 when I got my novice license. Paper and pencil, and more than one pencil and more than one piece of paper will really help. If you have a device, i.e. the tablet or iPhone or Android phone or laptop, batteries can go south on you, and or RF noise interference can be created by them into your radio. So I can't tell you what to do. I know what I do. I do paper and pencil and log it at home. Myself, I use AC log. But logging is on the responsible side of the activator for those to receive the credit. The sooner you're able to log it, the sooner your representative will upload the logs. Now, I'm fortunate in K4 land that our people that process our logs send me an email that says, "Hey, Dom, logs uploaded, thanks." And it works great. So that should try to answer some of your questions, how important as an activator you are. As an activator, you're going to be utilizing several types, styles, homebrew ideas of antennas. Some you can buy commercially made, take them out of the plastic package, throw them on the mag mount, put them on the car or the van or the truck, whatever. Some of you will get the end feds, half wave, quarter wave, long wire. Some of you will use dipole antennas, double dipole antennas. Some of you will use loops. I use a Delta Loop by Chameleon, awesome antenna. I use a Wolf River coil, my go-to vertical. Works perfect for me. It's what I found. And what you find is what you need to be satisfied with, not necessarily what everybody else is using. First lesson number one, if you're out in the field and you got an antenna up and it don't work, what do? Maybe try another one. Give you an example. I got a homebrew tripod mounted 11-meter antenna base that I stick a 36-inch rod on, and I stick a 17-meter, 20-meter, 40-meter, whatever resonator I have, and stick it out there in front of me. Or I can work out of the car with those resonators. I like being out in the open like I am right now as I do this video. So there's several different things, but don't depend on one type of antenna. Whether it's a dipole, a vertical. As you scroll through the Facebook page and you'll see the questions, I really suggest you follow all the questions. Even if it's a simple answer, the next person may give you an insight on what you can do in your operation. Everything I'm discussing is not for Summit, but for POTA. Me, I'm too old to be driving four-wheel drive through areas that I get very skittish about. That's for me, not for you. You're younger, you're more aggressive, you live wild, dangerous. Those are things that you can do. It's your activation. That's the whole thing you have to remember. Now, when you go out and activate, there's some simple things to consider. We got your radio. Make sure you have your battery source, whether it be your automobile, a bino battery. I use a 15 amp. Some use a 12 volt lead acid battery. Some go to a park and hope they find electricity. It doesn't always happen. So make sure you have a source. And then before you activate, the simplest help for you is to practice in your driveway, practice in your backyard, in your neighbor's backyard, wherever. But go ahead, set it up, test it, tune it, take it down, and do it again more than once so that you're comfortable with setting it up when you're in a strange area, whether that strange area is 15 minutes from where you're at or an hour and a half. Practice it. It doesn't cost you anything and saves you embarrassment. Plus, you know where all the parts are. There's nothing worse than driving an hour or so to a park and realized you left the radio or the coax. For myself, I use an analyzer and I check my antennas prior to going on. It's a very nice, expensive, or could be expensive tool, but the tool saves the cost of the radio replacement, etc. So consider an analyzer in your budget somewhere. You can get radios from different manufacturers. They all work relatively the same. They transmit the power that is capable out the antenna to people like me on the other end that are trying to receive it. I'm not privy to having the best in the world. I have what I can afford and or what I like. Same with you. When you have done your practicing, and I'm not telling you to, I only suggest it, you're going to feel more confident in your setup. And that's important. If you use a tuner, know how to tune with that tuner on your radio or radios if you use multiple radios. So we've got you with the desire to go. You've looked on the map. You found the route that you want to take to get to the park that you want to go to. Be sure to write that park number down and the name of the park on a couple pieces of paper, because one you're going to lose, the other one's going to get tore, but at least you'll have one there. Take extra pen and paper. If you're going to take a laptop or iPhone or something like that, make sure you have a source of powering it, because if it should go down in the middle, you're done. Don't let the done scare you. Go back to the old-fashioned way. Paper and pencil works awesome. Find the frequency. Don't go in such as myself, I'm in advanced class. I need to stay in the general portion of the band to get more contacts. In the general portion of the band. I could go in the advanced portion of the band, but I'm cutting my throat. I'm eliminating some of my opportunities. Think about it. When you're out activating and you've brought the supplies, you know where you're going, you've tested your equipment, how am I going to get started? A little secret, if you're listening well, once you have your antenna system set up, I use 2 or 3 antennas. That's me, that's not you. If you get there and you're going to run the mag mount off the top of your vehicle, that's awesome. Once you're set up, before you go activate, chase some parks. Use the spotting page, see who's out there, see where they're at, listen to the band, get an idea what's going on. From the seasoned vets, those that have been out many, many times, putting out many, many parks, they're going to hit park to parks right away. Get that evil thought of 10 contacts out of your head. If you run multiple bands, 20, 40, 10, 17, there's my list. I have run 12. Oh, there's a couple more that some of you might really win at to help get those contacts, the 10 contacts. That's 2 meters on simplex. That's 70 centimeters on simplex, not on the repeater, but on simplex frequencies. So you can again acquire more of the 10 needed contacts to continue your activation. And if you have a failed activation, you don't let the failed activation discourage you. It happens to every single operator in one way, shape, or form. I learned from seasoned vets at Parks on the Air to go get your parks as soon as you can, because once you're on a frequency, the other 10 or 15 park-to-park people are all chasing other parks and getting established. But you can't go nowhere, pretty much, until you've completed your run. Again, for myself, I do 20, 40, 17, and 10. 17 meters is a quiet portion. It's not noisy. During contest, there's more activity there, because during contest time, all the other bands are pretty much slam full. So, we're back to the point that you want to be an activator. There's a thrill at the end of the day when you have completed and you start counting how many contacts that you had. The excitement from, I got 30 contacts, to the time you hit over 100 at one stop. I have some parks now that I'm going to work for the Kilo Award. That means working that park for 1,000 contacts. At first, when I started POTA, I believed that if you worked a park once or twice, you shouldn't need to go back to it. Wrong. Every day, Jason and the POTA administration, post all the new members to Parks on the Air. And each one of them have to do just like you did, I did when they're hunting, work the parks. Work different bands. I've worked some people on 4 bands. I've got one party I've worked on 9 bands. You can too. I can go on, and I'm going to stop here because I want you to be an activator, and an activator without fear, but an activator with excitement and ready to accept the challenges, whatever they are. If you have a failed activation, don't let it bother you. Learn from whatever happened and take it to improve the next outing. If you have listened through all of this video, I want to thank you for taking the time, because I wish that somebody would have explained some of these things to me before I went out there chasing and wondering how to and what if and all that. I'll do another video if time prevails. I'm blessed with the sunrise. That's a great deal in my life. Y'all have a good one. This is November Charlie 4, X-Ray Lima, Dom, the darling old man of North Carolina, saying 73s and happy activations. Get out there and get yourself on the air and have fun.